Hi guys, this is Simeon from Swedish Homestead. It's about time that I will give you an update on my compost pile here in the greenhouse. So over the course of the last weeks I've done a few things here. I have measured the temperature, I have opened up the compost pile and taken away the gates around it, and I've actually pulled it aside a little bit apart, and the chickens have also dug in it. But I'm going to turn the whole compost pile now, and then I'm going to share some information with you, some observations and things that I think will affect how I will do this in the future. See that the chickens have dug through a bunch here, but my important task now is to really get it aerated a bunch and turned so it will continue to burn when it's done. One of the things that I can say now already is that I will not use straw and hay again to build my compost pile like this. And the reason for that is that the chickens, they have a hard time scratching that apart. It is much easier for the chicken to kick wood chips, even if they're wet, to kick them around and kick them aside. I've used a lot of old hay, a lot of old grass. I have used straw, and it just packs up a lot and makes it much harder for the chickens to actually scratch it aside, find their food, and aerate the whole pile. So we have a wood chipper on the farm, and the wood chipper enables us to, in the future, build piles out of wood chip mainly, and that's what we're gonna attempt to do. You see there's steam coming off the pile, and there are a lot of ashes here. I think that's a sign usually that it gets a little bit too warm, but yeah, we'll see. I'm just aerating the whole thing right now, and I'm gonna stack it up again afterwards. Just really want to get it apart right now. Now, there's not really that much insect life in here right now. It was too warm, I think, for that, but when the material came in here it was frozen, so I think that might have affected it, which doesn't mean that this will fail. I see the chickens eating from the stuff all the time. There's still a bunch of heat, but I will have to see how long this all has been now. I don't remember exactly when I built this pile. I will look when I come inside and then put it in so you can see the date. Now my turning it will really add a lot of oxygen to this whole thing again. I can tell you also that this hay here is not wet enough. I will need to water it more now. Okay, so here we go. I've piled it up, I've aerated it. I'm gonna water it a little bit now, but I want to share a few thoughts and conclusions that I've made already. So the first one was the material. I want to use material that the chickens can just kick very easily. The cow manure was amazing because I have seen the chickens attack that stuff and even eat it. Cow manure has enzymes in it that are required for the chicken to have a proper digestion. So I was just amazed at how the chickens just seem to be eating what to me looked like cow manure. I'm sure there were other parts in there, but that was amazing. The hay and straw and old grass, it's hard for the chickens, and if it's the main substance of it, to aerate that and kick that. Wood chips are much nicer as a source of carbon. So that's what we're gonna do. The next thing is that I see this interfering a bit with the deep bedding that we have already. So that it mixes together, and the deep bedding that is so nice and fluffy, the chickens are not able to aerate it the proper way anymore because the hay packs in with it. So here is what I think we might do in the future. We will use this system this spring on a big scale or bigger scale to prepare garden areas and to create food for the chickens. We want to have several compost piles bigger than this one. The bigger a compost pile, the better. And we want to have the chickens eat off of that, a bunch of them. Some will free range behind the cows. Some will be doing this in the garden. Those are my brothers. Can you believe it? I'm making a video here and they start singing out there. We live on a happy farm. Anyways, so here is what I think about the greenhouse and heating the greenhouse though. I'm still planning on pursuing this and doing it. Not exactly in this way. This was a try. I'm glad I've done it. But it is not enough heat for the greenhouse. And I want to make it the kind of heat that will even allow me to plant plants in here quite early in the spring when the chickens will leave the greenhouse, and I can do this. So there's something called the biomiler, and basically what that is a big compost pile, often made out of just wet wood chips, and you put some kind of system in there that will transport through some piping, will transport the heat from the pile into the greenhouse. Now, I haven't done that here. Many people have suggested that, but a reason I haven't done that here is because the compost pile is already in the greenhouse. The heat is already inside the greenhouse. You might say, yes, it's inside the pile. Well, the heat goes out. The surface of this compost pile is almost room temperature. The heat needs to go somewhere, so it's gonna go inside this greenhouse. So I don't need to put piping in here, I don't believe. Maybe I'm completely mistaken, but in my logic, I don't need to do that. When I have the biomiler, this big pile out here outside of the greenhouse, and you can build these huge, and they produce heat for 18 to 24 months, then we will transport the heat into the greenhouse. That will be a future project, but it's very interesting, so I think we're gonna pursue this. It's even enough if you take a maybe 1.5 or 2 cubic meter bag. For example, one of those bags that I buy my chicken feed in. Fill that up with wet wood chips. That will produce heat for half a year that could keep all my water from freezing. So that's something I'm going to pursue. Also, I mentioned the water above this pile. The reason I haven't done that is because this pile, it just gets, it sinks together, then the water would hang in the air, then I have to pile it up, I would have to move the water and all of that, so I haven't done that either. But I love this idea, I'm gonna pursue that. The chickens are definitely finding stuff here. I don't know what it is they're finding. I don't see any insects, but they're definitely eating here, and we will love the compost here in the spring. So, those are some conclusions and some thoughts. There's a lot more to it than what I can fit in a short video here, but I hope you enjoyed this. I will continue to update you on the whole progress here on our farm. Okay guys, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this little update. Hope you got some information out of there. Thank you for all the comments you have written. I have looked at most of them and considered and thought about many of them, and yeah, I hope that I will be able to continue to update you as this process continues. So thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.